Philadelphia News, team of my heart.
The Sixers are making headlines, and you're about to find out why. A key player is delivering clutch performances, transforming the team in ways you can't ignore. Will he stay off the trade market? Catch the latest Sixers news and subscribe for insider updates and must-know Sixers stories.
Trade season is on the horizon, and the 76ers are positioned as a team to watch. You've seen it before, the Sixers playing chess while the rest of the league scrambles, and this year will be no different. Whether it's filling gaps, bolstering their lineup, or leveraging their assets, Philadelphia is always at the center of Sixers news this time of year. Yet, here's the catch, you'd expect a player lighting up the court to be on the market, right? Especially when the Sixers have roster holes so big, you can almost hear the critics piling on. But what if I told you one of their best-kept secrets isn't even available for trade? That's right, while other teams gear up to make their moves, the Sixers are making a statement. Some players are just too crucial to let go. Now think about this, the Sixers are battling injuries, shaky starts, and relentless pressure from fans like you who know what this team is capable of. Still, even with all that weighing them down, one standout player has become a beacon of consistency. Every night, he delivers. Buckets, boards, and beyond, his presence on the floor changes the entire dynamic of the game. But what makes him indispensable isn't just the stats, it's how seamlessly he fits into Nick Nurse's system, giving the Sixers exactly what they need. Let's not sugarcoat it. You've watched enough games to know this season hasn't been smooth sailing. The Sixers' record? Rough. The standings? Worse. Yet somehow, this player has remained a bright spot, keeping the team afloat in ways you might not even realize. He's hitting shots when they matter most, stretching the floor with his outside touch, and playing defense like every possession could decide the season. And while other teams might look at him and see an opportunity to pounce, Philly's front office sees something different, someone worth holding on to. It's not just about what he's doing now. You know the Sixers have a tight window to make a run, and this player could be a key piece in bridging the gap between potential and performance. Sure, losing him for nothing at the end of the season is a risk, but trading him mid-season would be a step backward. Philly can't afford that, not when they're within striking distance of the play-in and still have a shot to salvage what's left of this campaign. Here's the kicker, he's not even on a big contract. This isn't some max salary gamble where you're left debating if the cost outweighs the reward. No, this is value, pure and simple. And value like this doesn't hit the market without a fight. That's why, even with trade season heating up and other teams sniffing around, the Sixers are saying, not this time. They've drawn their line in the sand. So, when you're reading the latest Sixers news or catching whispers of potential deals, keep this in mind, the Sixers are playing the long game. They're not just reacting to the pressure, they're building something that lasts. And part of that foundation is knowing when to hold on to a player who gives you an edge, even when the rest of the league is trying to pull you in another direction. It's a bold move, no doubt about it. But sometimes, bold is exactly what this team needs. You've seen it before, players who surprise you with their consistency and impact, the ones who seem like they were made to play in a Sixers uniform. This player is one of them, the kind you instantly recognize as a difference maker. When the Sixers are on their heels, he's the one stepping up, bringing energy, and keeping the team within striking distance. It's not about flashy plays or highlight reels, it's about doing the little things that don't always show up on the stat sheet but make all the difference in the flow of the game. He's a sharpshooter when the Sixers need it most. You've seen the clutch three-pointers, the ones that silence the crowd on the road or ignite the Wells Fargo Center at home. Shooting just under 40% from beyond the arc, he's the kind of weapon that forces defenses to adjust, creating space for stars like Embiid and Maxey to dominate. But it's not just his offensive game that stands out. He's battling on the boards, securing critical rebounds when the team's bigs are pulled out of position, and dishing out assists with the awareness of someone who understands the game at a deeper level. You might think a player like this, thriving on a minimal contract, would be a prime trade chip, exactly the kind of piece a team like the Sixers would use to land a bigger name. But here's the thing, some players bring so much more value than their numbers or their deals suggest. This player doesn't just fit the system, he enhances it. His chemistry with the roster is seamless, and his ability to plug multiple holes makes him indispensable. When you're trying to claw your way back into contention, that kind of versatility is priceless. Now, you know how tough this season's been. Injuries, slow starts, and inconsistency have painted the Sixers into a corner. It's frustrating, you've felt it. But even in games where everything seems to go wrong, this player has been a steady presence, someone you can count on. His effort on defense, his movement without the ball, and his ability to finish in traffic give the team a heartbeat when it needs one most. You can see why the front office is unwilling to let him go. He's not just a piece of the puzzle, he's a piece that holds the rest together. His presence on the court changes how the Sixers play. You've noticed it. The ball moves better, the energy picks up, and the team looks more cohesive. When he's out there, it feels like anything is possible. That kind of impact doesn't come around often, especially for someone who wasn't even on most people's radar heading into the season. Yet here he is, proving every night that he belongs, that he's more than just a role player. The Sixers are in a tight spot, no question. But this player has been one of the few bright spots, someone you can point to and say, this is what we've been missing. You can tell the coaching staff trusts him, they wouldn't keep putting him in these high-pressure situations otherwise. And you know what? He's earned it. He's proven that he can handle the pressure, thrive in it, and make his teammates better in the process. This isn't just about this season, though. You're watching someone who could become a cornerstone for the team's future. Sure, there's always a risk when it comes to free agency, and you've seen players come and go. But sometimes, the gamble is worth it. Sometimes, you have to hold on to the players who give you a chance to compete, even if it means facing uncertainty down the line. You've been watching the Sixers closely, right? You've seen the ups and downs, the sparks of hope, and the frustration when things don't click. So let me ask you, did you already figure out who I was talking about? The player who has been delivering night after night, the one who has emerged as an unexpected cornerstone in a season full of question marks. Think about the games you've watched this season. Who's been the one hitting shots from deep when the offense looks stuck? Who's been snagging rebounds and playing with energy that lifts the whole squad? If you guessed correctly, then you already know this player isn't just a placeholder, he's been one of the most consistent pieces in a roster desperate for reliability. Here's the part where it all comes together. The Sixers aren't just holding on to this player because he's good now, they're holding on to him because he could be part of what turns this team around. You've seen what happens when a role player exceeds expectations, it inspires the whole team. It shows that no matter how tough the season gets, there's always potential for someone to rise to the occasion. And right now, that someone is Gershon Yabusel. Yes, Yabusel. You've probably seen his name pop up in Sixers news, but what he's doing on the court is even more impressive than the headlines suggest. He's not just filling a spot in the rotation, he's redefining it. His outside shooting, his hustle, his ability to defend multiple positions, it's everything you want in a glue guy. And the best part? He's doing it all on a deal so modest that it feels like the Sixers struck gold. Now I want to know what you think. Did you expect Yabusel to become this important? Do you agree with keeping him off the market, or do you think the Sixers should capitalize on his value while they can? Let me know in the comments, because your voice as a Sixers fan matters. And before you go, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell icon. Why? Because you don't want to miss any Sixers news, updates, and insider info. This season is shaping up to be full of twists and turns, and you'll want to be here for every moment. Together, we'll follow the Sixers as they fight to turn things around, and trust me, you'll want to be part of this journey.